What if the ground beneath your feet wasn't as solid as you believed? Not cracking, not splitting, but breathing. Imagine a tremor that doesn't travel like an earthquake, but spreads like a pulse. Not destruction, a signal. For centuries, humanity has drilled, mined, and measured the earth, confident it was nothing more than stone and fire. But what if those measurements missed something? Something vast, ancient, a presence buried so deep it learned how to stay silent. Until now, because this time the earth didn't shake. It answered. It started as a small, scientific curiosity. Seismographs around the world began recording unusual tremors at nearly the same time, from Asia to North America, Europe, and even stations buried beneath the Antarctic ice. The strange part was that none of the data matched known fault lines. There were no tectonic collisions, no plate movements, and no signs of volcanic activity. At first, scientists assumed the instruments were faulty. They blamed calibration errors, satellite interference, or software glitches, simple explanations that felt safe and familiar. But then the tremor happened again at the exact same depth, with the same rhythm and the same precise timing. This wasn't a seismic wave traveling through the earth. It was a localized disturbance, repeating too accurately to be natural. When researchers combined the global data, they noticed something deeply unsettling. Every reading pointed back to a single region, the Pacific Ring of Fire. A place already known for earthquakes and volcanoes was now behaving in a way no one had ever seen before, pulsing with regularity, almost like a heartbeat. What began as routine underground imaging quickly turned into panic. Advanced scans revealed something deep beneath the Earth's crust. It wasn't an empty space or a geological formation. It was a massive structure. Unlike rock or magma, it appeared to shift, expanding and contracting slowly over time. Spanning hundreds of kilometers, it sat far below any known geological layer, and its surface looked layered and folded, not random or natural. One geophysicist, speaking privately, described it as looking less like stone and more like living tissue. Scientists tried to explain it away as a rare mineral formation or an extreme geothermal effect, but every explanation fell apart. Rocks do not pulse, and mountains do not react. Then buried sensors detected something else. Faint energy emissions coming from the anomaly. These low-frequency vibrations repeated in steady cycles. They weren't chaotic. They followed patterns associated with biological processes like circulation, breathing, and sleep. That was when ancient stories began resurfacing in serious scientific conversations. Myths of sleeping giants, world-bearing beings, and gods trapped beneath the ground appeared across cultures that had never interacted with each other, yet all described the same fear. Something ancient beneath the earth, something waiting, something that should never wake. Astrobiologists were quietly brought in, not because the object came from space, but because it didn't behave according to Earth's natural rules. One disturbing theory began to take hold. What if this organism didn't evolve on Earth, but alongside it? What if the planet itself was never truly alive, but simply a shell, containing something far older, far larger, and slowly beginning to stir? The tremors didn't just continue. They began to behave differently. They weren't stronger in power, but they felt deliberate, like something was adjusting itself. Cities close to fault lines started noticing things that made no sense. Buildings gave off a deep hum at night. Animals abandoned entire areas without warning. Even navigation systems began to drift, slowly pointing away from true north. Then scientists noticed the real problem. Earth's magnetic field was changing. Satellites recorded waves moving through it, perfectly matching the pulses coming from deep underground. This wasn't damage or malfunction. The planet was reacting. At that moment, governments stopped pretending nothing was wrong. A classified global task force was created, pulling together experts from geology, physics, biology, and military defense. They all reached the same silent conclusion. This wasn't a disaster. It was an awakening. And awakenings always come at a cost. The most dangerous question wasn't what the entity was. It was why it was waking up now. Some blamed deep Earth drilling that reached farther than ever before. Others pointed to nuclear tests that shook the planet for decades. A few suggested the Earth's internal pressure had changed due to long-term climate imbalance. But inside secure rooms, another theory kept returning. What if none of this was accidental? What if the pulses weren't reactions, but responses? Signals? And what if the growing chaos on Earth, earthquakes, eruptions, climate shifts, wasn't the planet dying, but moving? Scientists began modeling what would happen if the entity fully awakened. The results were too severe to publish. Continents could fracture. Oceans could shift. The magnetic field could collapse. The atmosphere could destabilize. Not a single moment of destruction, but a slow, unstoppable unmaking of the world. Humanity is now trapped between impossible choices. Do we try to communicate with something older than history itself? Do we attempt to suppress it, knowing we may not survive the attempt? Or do we accept the most terrifying truth ever considered? That humans were never the dominant life on this planet. We were just visitors, living on the surface, while something far older has always been underneath us. As the latest tremor moves silently beneath the oceans, one final reading appears on a monitoring screen. Seconds later, the system goes dark. The pulse has changed. It isn't faster. It isn't stronger. It's responsive, as if something deep beneath the Earth's surface has finally realized it's being watched. And whatever lies below does not like being observed. Because the question is no longer what is waking up beneath us. The real question is what happens next. If it rises, the strain alone could tear the planet apart. Continents could fracture. Oceans could shift. The magnetic field could fail. Life wouldn't end in a single moment, but in stages, slowly and irreversibly. And that leaves humanity with one final understanding. We are not witnessing the birth of a disaster. We are witnessing the moment something ancient realized it was no longer alone. And when it moves again, the Earth may not survive it, because we were never standing on solid ground. We were standing on something that was never meant to stay buried.